Peoria Community Against Violence, what is it? It is a brand new 501c3 nonprofit organization that was created to be the moral voice of the community, the voice that says we no longer stand for violence, the voice that says there are peaceful alternatives to gang, gun, and street life. And why do we have this moral component? Also, I am the community service coordinator with the Peoria Police Department with Don't Shoot. So my role in the Don't Shoot initiative is I actually work with ex-offenders, ex-gang members, and their families and help them connect to the services and resources available in our community to live a positive life, to be a contributing member of our society, of our community. When individuals are involved in gang and gun violence, something we find is the whole family is affected, not only the victim, but also the offender and everyone surrounding them, and a ripple effect in the neighborhoods. Look how many individuals are living in single-family homes, how many individuals have a parent that is incarcerated. So we take a look at all of those things, and Peoria Community Against Violence has a very simple mission statement: to create a safe place for all. Vague enough, right? Well, let me show you more.
You know, it's always somebody out, you know, that wants retaliation for any little thing. So, I mean, it could be somebody's friend get locked up, you know, and they get, you know, and they want to retaliate off of that or something like that. So, I mean, it could be more opportunities open.
Well, one of the basic components of David Kennedy's process is community involvement and the moral voice of a community. So we understood at the very beginning that at some point in time it was going to be extremely important for us to engage the citizens in our community to be supportive of this project. Just because if the community's not behind it and support it and feel like they have skin in the game, it's not going to be successful.
PCAV does, Peoria Community Against Violence, is it integrates into the moral community, which is so essential to the Don't Shoot program. In other words, part of the Don't Shoot program involves engagement of the moral community, and PCAV helps us to engage the moral community through the association with Don't Shoot.
Stand for? What does it stand for? What does it stand for?
Community involvement, I know that.
Community involvement.
PCAV is going to help our community in a big way, and maybe it hasn't happened yet, but I know that it will.
No one wants an occupying force of a police department, and when you know people, you're working with them, you break bread with them, it goes a lot farther. Just you're willing to do more. Both sides are. Communication issues, and that's what it's about. That's what makes anything successful.
Yeah, I think the real value of PCAV is trying to get people in Peoria to see themselves as Peorians. We're not part of this neighborhood or that neighborhood. I mean, that might be where we live, but we're all part of Peoria, and what happens in one neighborhood affects all of us, and if we all take ownership of it, then maybe things can change for the better. So.
From a law enforcement perspective, we can quiet a particular neighborhood forever, as long as we're there. But it's true community that sustains that when law enforcement leaves, and that's of course, that's the effort, that's the concern.
Keys to fighting crime is education and employment, so I would really like to see PCAV focus on those two areas specifically.
The representation of the city, of the individuals from the community that are not affiliated with law enforcement.
Some of the roles of PCAV include helping neighbors develop safe strategies, bridging communication between police and the community. PCAV also believes that anytime we can bring law enforcement and the community together in a positive way, that the entire community can benefit from that. And we try and do that in many different ways.
No true program is going to work on this level without the involvement of the entire community.
The mayors across the country are looking for is communities that don't want to just sit on the sidelines and complain about stuff being bad, but want to say, look, we've identified the problem, we want to help, we want to be part of the solution. And that's what we need, and that's what PCAV is doing.
And it's pretty neat to watch the law enforcement community work towards the community instead of the opposite. As our officers are engaged and our community is engaged, between the two, we're a community.
PCAV is going to bring peace to our community.
Do you see Peoria becoming a safer place? Can you envision it for your children?
Yeah, it's all right. As long as you just keep them out the streets and away from all the negativity, I think that'll be all right.
Okay. So with that, on the video you got to see 3 different initiatives that we've already instigated or already developed in Peoria. One is a peace walk, where we'll walk around areas that are known for gang and gun violence or violent activity. And the community members will walk. As you saw, we've got big groups. Sometimes they're not as big, sometimes they are. I think our biggest one was over 140 adults. I can't count kids' heads, they move too much. And it's just a simple way to state that this is our city, not this neighborhood or this neighborhood. It's our city and we care about it and it's not forgotten. And we realize that activity is going on here that needs to change and we want to help you with that. Another initiative we just actually had last night was our P-Town Soup. It's a micro grant opportunity. It's a really neat thing where we open the door already to other people trying to better the city of Peoria in a positive way. And we ask for 3 to 4 presenters at each of our soups. And our soup is free, homemade, very yummy, very yummy. I should have brought leftovers for everyone this morning, right? And last night, again, the food is at no cost, and then we ask at the door for a $5 donation. But each donation equals a vote. And after you hear the 3 speakers, you get to vote on who you would like to see receive all the proceeds of the money that night. So last night, East Bluff Community Center won $810, which they will then be putting towards their 5K walk. I believe it's October 10th, if you're interested. Check that out. And so the funds will go towards helping that initiative, something that's going to help better the city and the neighborhoods. A final initiative that is more reactive than proactive is a murder stand down for peace. Anytime that there's a homicide in Peoria, within 48 hours, PCAV will host a stand down for peace in which we come together and ask the community to come together and mourn the loss of a life lost to violence and give our condolences and our sympathy to the family, but also ask the community to come together to stop the violence. And those are very powerful events. They're always at the Gateway building. We are just getting off the ground. All of our workers through the Peoria Community Against Violence are volunteers. It's entirely a volunteer basis. We would love everyone and anyone to join who has great ideas, who wants to help initiate something that's going to better our city and create safer streets.